start assembling the lifting arm assembly for the 54A plow frame for the Cub, Farmall Cub. I believe I have the latest series of this, or the latest version of this setup. There are two other versions. One has the springs and one doesn't, of the earlier versions, but I believe this is the latest version. I do think that I have some parts from the L54, which is the low boy. Specifically, I think the lifting arm spring is from the Cub, the low boy Cub. But I was told this was a regular Cub plow assembly. It had been used on a regular Cub. I've never used it before. If you look down some of my other videos, this is really part 2 of the restoration of this frame, and that was pretty rusty to begin with, as you'll see from that other video. So anyway, thanks for joining me today, and we're going to get busy and assemble the lifting arm assembly. Without further ado, right. Spring in. Move a couple of pieces out of the way. This requires a castle nut and a cotter pin to set it to the right depth. All my pieces are stainless. All my fasteners are stainless. Special ordered all this stuff from boltdepot.com. I do have a manual that I'm referring to, so in case you don't have a manual, you can follow along and see how to do it. Just kind of leery about scratching the paint more than necessary. slipping through. All right. Part 1. All right. So now, I'm going to attach this to the frame. This part here. Here. Goes this way. Right. So what I couldn't find anywhere were spacers, because this hole right here, where the bolt goes through, is a 7/8 or 3/4 wide hole, and the where it goes through the frame is a 1/2 inch. So we have to make a spacer. Slide the spacer in. Slide the bolt through. Oops. All right. The assembly doesn't call for flat washers, but the only reason I'm using flat washers is to protect the paint from getting all marred up when I use the lock washers. There we go. Smooth operation. I'll tighten everything up once it's on the tractor, just because I don't know the exact position everything needs to be in. This obviously has to articulate a little bit, so it doesn't need to be as tight, but so I'll tighten that up a little bit right now. But with that spacer, it shouldn't be too bad. Still has free movement. That's good. Alright, so The lifting assembly is pretty much together. Now we just need to attach the plow frame. So I think we'll stop here for a second and I'll rearrange things so that that is more convenient and doesn't take up as much video time. So I'll be right back. Things will be a little bit in a different position, and we'll go ahead and attach this to the what's it called? It's called the lifting arm assembly. Okay, I'll be right back. Alright, we're back again. Let's see. I think the next step is to get this tension spring for the plow blade assembled. It's pretty easy. And this calls for jam bolts. Couldn't really find, jam bolts are about 3/4 the size of this. These bolt nuts, jam nuts. I always get bolts and nuts mixed up for some reason. Anyway, so jam nuts are about 3/4 the size of the depth of these, and then I couldn't find those in stainless anywhere. So I just went with full-size nuts, and that would be fine. Just going to put a little tension on the spring. Not sure how much tension is supposed to be on it. Couldn't find any specs on what the tension is supposed to be. It's mainly just to keep the blade from springing back, I think. Alright. See if we can put some tension on that spring. I'll just give this a little jam just to hold it in place. Alright. Oops. And this attaches right to here. And then this part attaches to the plow, or the clevis pin. And we'll do that once we hook the plow up to the tractor. So for now, we'll just hold this off to the side. But now it's time to attach the plow frame to the lifting assembly. Let's see if we can do that. This piece right here already weighs about 50 pounds. It slides underneath the angle keeper. Alright. I just put this here to keep the paint from chipping underneath the lifting arm. I'm going to take that out for clarity. bit. This is where the plow pivots right here. So we'll put the pivot also has a collar, collar. That goes underneath. And again, it doesn't call for flat washers, but I'm just putting those on to protect the paint and help it slide easier. That's all. So it goes washer, collar, washer, lock washer, and this is a 5/8 bolt. Numbers on the nuts. I like to keep them on the outside so that the lock washer part doesn't scrape the numbers off for future reference. And then just finger tighten these until I get on them. I'll tighten them up in a minute. Finger tight for now. And the plow frame guides go on next. These are put on. These are 1/2-inch bolts. And again, these don't call for washers, but washers will help protect the paint. And keep the lock nut from digging in. I think I want that to go the other way since that's going to be most visible. I want the bolt head on the top, I think. Is that what you were thinking too? I'll go along with that. or not. But basically that goes there. And then for the angle, so it can work. Yeah, I don't need that. Oh, I gotta clean out that. Anyway, this is for, this pin right here is for the angle of the blade. As it rotates. That's where all my paint's gonna scrape, I'm afraid. So, plow frame is now, other than tightening down some bolts, this is now complete. Ta-da! So now the next step will be to put the, what's it called? It's called the axle hanger. That's the next step. So that went together pretty easy. Oh yeah, we have to put this on too on the bottom. But I'll put that on when I put the plow on. Or shortly before I put the plow on. That just attaches with one bolt. And the clevis pin to the plow frame, plow itself. Alright. I'm going to rejigger things around and set up for the axle hanger. So I'll see you in a minute. My paint. Oh, one more thing, just because I want to do it. I've been dying to do this too. Not gonna work. Nope. Alright, now it's time to make assemble. Now it's time to assemble the axle hanger. And the first step, I think, would be to attach the pivot. And those are these. I'm just referring to my little manual over here. That shows everything is assembled. Doesn't really give me a good picture of which way to go here. Yeah, that's about 1 3/4 bolts. Take this. Oh, those are size up. Now, it's time to put on this part here. That's the way. So this has to be sort of at an angle. And I won't really know that angle until I get out to the tractor. So I'm going to leave those loose until I get out to the tractor. There we go. Alright. That will straighten out once we get. That's good to know. And this. Goes here. Again, this goes at a certain angle once you get up to the tractor. It probably goes more like this. So once I get out to the tractor, I'll tighten everything up at the angle that it naturally sets at. The only thing left to do just show you guys. So what's left to do here is this part goes in here. It's a tight fit. That got bent. Don't have to scrape the paint, but I'm gonna have to. I can scrape some paint. I'm gonna have to do that, but anyway, that's got to be scraped. So it's got to go down there. Then this will go through here. Well, I can always touch it up. And this part hooks onto here. One of the closest pins I got today. There we go. Alright. So this is there. And then the other end, this end here, clips into there. This is the lifting rod. And this is the pivot that goes in the behind the steering box. There, assembled. This hooks onto the front rock shaft. And this part hooks into that. Like that.
Who are you talking
Well, I had to mock it up. Just to see how it would look. Not on the tractor, but this is how the complete hookup would look, minus the tractor. I even hooked up the pin down there. It's a little dark in my cellar, so I apologize, but here's everything all ready to go. All the pieces are here. Just needs to be put on the tractor and given a try out. I think it came out pretty good. Stainless steel sets off the paint nicely. So there's basically three parts to this. This is the axle hanger, this part. This is the lifting assembly. And then you have the blade and the frame, the blade frame. A lot of work went into this. A lot more than I expected. But it came out pretty good. Don't mind the dust. Who knows?